The cause of death was listed as accidental drowning based on witness statements, but the medical examiner disagreed with this assessment upon further examination. Autopsy findings revealed water in pulmonary cavities, indicating that aspiration had occurred prior to death. This finding challenged the initial narrative provided by bystanders, who claimed the deceased had been unconscious at the time of submersion, and thus could not have aspirated significant amounts of water voluntarily. The presence of water within the lungs suggested an involuntary inhalation event, likely due to a sudden disturbance or change in circumstances while submerged, leading to reflexive gasping for air. This contradiction between witness accounts and physical evidence prompted a detailed investigation into the sequence of events leading up to the incident, highlighting the complexity of determining causality in drowning cases. Chapter: Case Background. The incident occurred on the evening of March 15th in a suburban community pool facility known as Lakeside Aquatic Center, located in Springfield, Illinois. At approximately 7:45 p.m., a swim instructor noticed one of her students was submerged beneath the surface and immediately initiated rescue procedures. The deceased was promptly removed from the water by lifeguards who had been on duty. Initial CPR efforts were administered on-site before emergency medical services arrived to transport the individual to Springfield Regional Medical Center. Upon arrival at the hospital, medical staff conducted resuscitation attempts but could not revive the deceased. An autopsy was subsequently ordered to determine the cause and manner of death. The case was reported by the pool manager, who had been informed of the incident's details upon receiving a call from the on-duty lifeguard. Initially observed were signs of submersion, including cyanosis around the lips and extremities, indicative of oxygen deprivation. It was assumed that drowning had occurred due to the water conditions in the pool and the lack of immediate flotation devices for all swimmers present at the time. Chapter: Initial findings upon arrival at the aquatic scene. First responders observed the deceased floating in a dorsal position on the water's surface, approximately 10 meters from shore. There were no visible external injuries noted upon initial assessment. However, the absence of respiratory effort and cyanotic appearance prompted immediate emergency response procedures. The scene was secured with barriers to prevent contamination and ensure safety for recovery operations. Initial medical examination at the shoreline revealed a lack of spontaneous respirations and pulse. A detailed visual inspection did not disclose any signs of trauma, such as contusions or lacerations, indicative of assault or struggle. Given these observations, the initial manner of death was classified as undetermined pending further forensic investigation due to the presence of water within the pulmonary cavities observed during resuscitation efforts. The presence of water in the lungs triggered an immediate referral for autopsy and toxicology screening to ascertain causality and rule out potential contributing factors, such as alcohol or drug intoxication. Chapter: Forensic Investigation. Upon arrival at the scene, investigators collected water samples from the vicinity where the body was found, including any nearby water bodies such as a lake or swimming pool. Physical evidence included aquatic debris and plant material adhered to the deceased's hair and clothing, suggesting immersion in freshwater. A comprehensive examination of the surroundings identified no signs of forced entry or struggle, indicating voluntary submersion. At autopsy, foreign matter was meticulously documented before removal from the lungs, including sand and soil particles, consistent with the geographical area. The pulmonary cavities contained a significant volume of water, indicative of drowning. Samples were taken for toxicology and pathology analysis. All evidence was tagged and sealed under strict chain-of-custody procedures to ensure integrity throughout forensic processing. Notable in absence were any signs of defensive wounds or trauma suggesting nonviolent circumstances surrounding the event. Autopsies for suspected drowning cases typically include the examination of pulmonary tissues to detect inhaled water and particulate matter. In this case, specific tests included measurement of chloride content in lung tissue samples via ion-selective electrode analysis. The threshold for chloride levels indicating aspiration was set at 150 mmol/L. Microscopic evaluation revealed macrophages containing hemosiderin and foreign material consistent with alveolar fluid from a non-viable environment. Additionally, histological sections showed edema and hemorrhagic changes in lung parenchyma. Bronchoalveolar lavage samples confirmed the presence of seawater particles and microorganisms indicative of marine origin. The concentration of chloride was measured at 205 mmol/L, surpassing the established threshold for aspiration, confirming water entry into the pulmonary cavities postmortem. Forensic analysis revealed that water was present in the pulmonary cavities of the deceased, indicative of a drowning event. The sequence of events leading to death began with submersion in a body of water, likely an aquatic environment such as a lake or pool. Evidence including mud and plant matter found within the respiratory tract provided context regarding the location of the incident. Postmortem interval estimation was primarily based on environmental factors such as temperature and insect activity around the time of discovery. A secondary method involved analysis of gastric contents for signs of digestion, though this was less definitive due to the body's condition upon recovery. Overall confidence in PMI determination is moderate, with a range estimated between 24 to 72 hours post-submersion. The timeline established through forensic evidence confirmed that drowning occurred prior to any other potential contributing factors, such as foul play or natural causes. This sequence of events contradicts initial speculation, suggesting a delayed cause of death due to another mechanism following submersion. In this case, the presence of water in the pulmonary cavities is a critical forensic finding indicative of drowning. Radiographic imaging and autopsy reveal fluid in the lungs consistent with aspiration during submersion. The expert would testify that the combination of lung tissue examination showing macroscopic and microscopic evidence of alveolar edema and the absence of other fatal injuries supports the conclusion of water inhalation as the cause of death. The presence of diatoms extracted from blood samples further corroborates the timing and environment of drowning, providing a clear link between submersion and respiratory failure. While the mechanism leading to submersion is inconclusive based on external evidence alone, the expert would assert with confidence that the deceased died due to water entering the lungs, causing acute pulmonary edema and subsequent respiratory distress. The presence of diatoms extracted from blood samples further corroborates the timing and environment of drowning, providing a clear link between submersion and respiratory failure. Chapter: Resolution upon thorough examination of the deceased's lungs. The presence of water within the pulmonary cavities confirmed the initial hypothesis of drowning as the cause of death. Microscopic analysis revealed particulate matter consistent with aquatic organisms and sediment, further substantiating submersion in a body of water prior to demise. Radiographic imaging also indicated fluid accumulation in the alveoli, supporting the conclusion drawn from macroscopic findings. Initially, there was speculation about other potential causes, such as aspiration, due to medical intervention or accidental inhalation of vomitus. However, the absence of foreign matter aside from aquatic debris and consistent evidence across multiple organ systems led to a definitive exclusion of these possibilities. The central finding was corroborated through toxicological analysis, which ruled out chemical agents that might mimic drowning symptoms. The pathological investigation conclusively established water in the pulmonary cavities as the primary indicator of drowning, resolving any ambiguity regarding the cause of death. This case underscores the importance of comprehensive forensic examination to accurately determine the circumstances leading to an individual's demise. This case underscores the critical role of thorough autopsy procedures in distinguishing between ante-mortem, perimortem, and post-mortem fluid accumulation within pulmonary cavities. Proper documentation and analysis are essential for accurate cause of death determination. The file remains open,